So what's up, athletes and parents? This is Mike, Phase One Elite, also YVY. So I just want to get into this real quick. So this is for my athletes out there that maybe you don't have an offer yet. You know what I mean? You've been working, doing everything you need to do, all the training, you know what I mean? Showing up at the camps. It could be 7-on-7, it could be showcases, ID camps, all the stuff that you know you're supposed to do, you're doing. However, that offer has not came yet. I'm going to give you a couple things that I need you to pay close attention to, right? All right, number one, you need to make sure that you go to the NCAA.org website first, right? Go to the website, look up your sport, look up Division I, Division II, the different divisions that you want to play at, that you want to compete at, that you're trying to get an offer from. And when you look at those sports, I need you to basically look at the recruiting calendar, right? That recruiting calendar is going to tell you when and how college coaches can communicate with you, right? So, for example, one of my athletes that I had a conversation with, he's only going into his sophomore year. So in reality is college coaches are not able to communicate with him yet. They're not able to start that relationship that ultimately will lead to that offer. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about real committable offers, not, the little stuff you hear or see on the internet. I'm talking about actual committable offers. There's a certain timeline, right? So that's number one. I want you to do that. Number two, I want you to make an honest assessment of your athletic ability. Here's what I mean by that. You could do this yourself for sure. You could do it if you can just be fully transparent with yourself and you can really look at your film, look at your height, look at your weight, look at your athletic ability. And if you can really do that and determine and look in the mirror and say, I am a Division I athlete. I am a Division II athlete. Maybe you're a Division III athlete, whatever that looks like for you. If you could be transparent, then you need to do that. If you cannot, or maybe you're not sure if what you think is real, right? Because that's normal, that's expected. If not, then you need to find a coach, whether it's a high school coach. You need to find, someone like myself that deals with recruiting a lot. You need to find someone that you can trust, but someone that has no ulterior motive, that has no reason to tell you that you're better than you actually are. Right? You need someone that's going to be fully transparent and honest with you. So that way they can say, hey, man, I looked at your film. I looked at all this. I've been watching you play for this long. So I really think you're pretty much a Division II athlete, which is totally fine. There's a lot of good sports, a lot of good stuff going on at the Division II level. But my point is just making that assessment is going to help you determine and put everything in perspective as to what your expectations should be. Right? So that's number two. Number three, this is very, very important as well. Number three, you need to make sure that you are doing everything in your power to generate that exposure to get that offer. Let's talk about what that looks like, right? This is where I'm going to spend the next few minutes. Now, let's talk about you. So we're going to talk about your training. We're going to talk about your nutrition. We're going to talk about your commitment to being a high-level athlete. Are you really committed to being a Division I athlete, Division II athlete? And here's the thing. If I'm around you, I should see it. I shouldn't have to ask, right? So if people are around you, your family, your friends, your coaches, whoever, if they are around you and if I ask them that question, does he or she have Division I work ethic? And if they say no or they have to think about it, not a good answer. Everyone around you should know. They should already know. It shouldn't even be anything that you have to discuss. Your mom and dad, parent, everyone should know. You know what I mean? They should have the stories. Oh, man, he gets up every morning. She gets up every morning and runs this. And, at night, they're in the garage working on this. These are the kind of things. These are the characteristics. You can't just go to practice and then do all the scheduled events and think that you're going to be great. Think that you're going to be a high-level athlete. It just doesn't work like that unless you have the genetic gifts that some athletes have. Some are just so genetic that everything I'm saying is really irrelevant, and that's fine. Those are the 1 out of 1,000. Got it. But everybody else, you need to be committed. Everyone around you should know and see the level of commitment you have towards being a college athlete. Now, let's flip that. Now let's talk about the recruiting and the exposure side of it. This is a side that I think a lot of athletes and families miss. Here's why I say that. I think a lot of athletes and families, they look at it and they say, okay, here's my statistics. Here's, my first team all conference, first team all league, first team whatever. Here's all my accolades, right? And we're thinking, based on these accolades, it's saying that I'm one of the best players out here. So why don't I have any offers? I can tell you why. Because you have not generated enough exposure. If you have that skill set, your height, your weight, your intangibles, everything is lining up to what we would all say is a college athlete, a scholarship athlete, then the next question is, how do you get the exposure? How do you get the college coaches to know who you are, to recognize you, to want to build a relationship with you, and ultimately want to offer you a full ride scholarship? Here's how you do it. You have to look at this simple, man. A lot of people take the recruiting process and they make it so complicated that it's just hard to understand. I'm going to give you a couple key points that I want you to do to help just increase your overall exposure. Number one, I want you to go to every social media platform that you have, and I want you to look at your bio. Look at what you put in your bio. Look at the information. Does it have all of the basic stuff as an athlete? Does it have your height, your weight? Does it have the school you play for? Does it have a link to your highlight video? Like, what is in that bio? Because believe it or not, college coaches are spending a lot of time on social media. And they're looking at athletes' bio. They're typing in your name. They're going to your profile. They're doing it. They are doing it. So I want to make sure that everything in that profile, every button, every link that they click, I need it to be led to or take them somewhere that basically has all of the pertinent information, basically all the valuable information for that college coach. So that's number one. We're going to evaluate that. And then number two, here's what I want you to do. I want you to create a list of 25 schools. I want you to look at it as these are 25 universities that I want to play at, that I feel like I can play at. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, some athletes will make a little wish list out of this, and you might put schools on there that you can't play at, or you're not athletically gifted enough to play at. And I get it, that's fine, but just know that we're probably not going to get a response from those schools. Let's just put it out there, right? So now we want 25. In a perfect world, it's 25 universities that you can play at, compete at, get a scholarship at. That's what we want. Now, next part of this, we're actually going to go in and I need you to research each one of the 25 schools. I need you to look at their academic program. What are their qualifications to get in academically? Are they more of a higher academic standard, Ivy League, for example? Or is it just more of your public university where the GPA is a little bit less? Do they require test scores? Do they not require test scores? I mean, this is the research that you have to do. If you already have an idea of what your major is going to be, what do you want to get a degree in when you get to college? If you already know that answer, you want to make sure they have the program, right? Because if you already know what you want to do and that school doesn't have the program, tell me what sense does that make? It doesn't make any. So do the research, academic side, admission side. Then we're going to do the research athletically. So what are we going to look at? We're going to look at the coaching staff. How long have the coaches been there? You know what I mean? What's their record the previous 2 or 3 seasons? Once we look at the record, that'll tell us, hey, what type of athletes is this school recruiting? Because if they've been undefeated for 3 years in a row, 5 years in a row, and that kind of thing, then they're going to get pretty much pick of the litter, as we call it. They're going to get to pick the athletes they want to come there for the most part, right? Doesn't mean that you can't break into that, but it's just things that we want to know, right? Now, when we look at that, the next thing we want to look at is the roster. Not just the roster as far as how many players are on there, but let's be more specific. Looking at that roster, number one, how many athletes are in your position? Let's take football, for example. You're a running back. How many running backs are on that roster? Okay, there's 8. 8 running backs on that roster. What are we going to do next? How many of those 8 are graduating this year? How many are graduating right now? How many graduate next year? How many are freshmen, sophomores? So that way you know, based on your class, where you fit in that. If there's 8 running backs and 4 of them are upperclassmen, they're going to be gone before you even get there, then that's great. That's good news. This is what you want to know as you do your research on these colleges, right? So you want to know who's going to be in your, we call it in your room, the running back room, receiver room, whatever sport you play, that room, who's going to be in there. That's what you want to know. So that's the research. And then here's another key that people miss every single time. When you look at the roster, the overall roster, look at where the athletes are from. Are there a lot of them from California? Are there a lot of them from Texas, Florida? Just get an idea of where these athletes are coming from. Because believe it or not, there's some universities that simply don't recruit in certain areas. Not that they don't like you, not that they don't want you, they just don't recruit there for different reasons. Some universities don't recruit certain areas because it's too far from home. And they don't want athletes getting homesick or parents, can't get back and forth. The travel is too intense. So there's a lot of reasons why college coaches do this, but you need to know. You need to know. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're looking at a Power 5, yeah, they recruit everywhere. They're going to go get the best players. But overall, based on your 25, you need to look at those rosters so you can determine, do they even recruit in your state, in your area, right? So that's what we want to break down. So that's just another step. Now, I want to finish this out, a couple more minutes here. I want to talk about your highlight video real quick. Highlight video, right? Everyone looks at this as the most simplest thing that you can have is a highlight video. Here's all my best plays. So tell me this. Why is it that I've seen so many highlight videos that are 7 minutes, 8 minutes long, 9 minutes long? Tell me what college coach is going to spend 9 minutes watching your highlight video. Does not make sense. And here's what it also tells me. If you have a 7 minute, 8 minute, 9 minute highlight video, that means there's at least 4 or 5 minutes on there, if not more, that we can remove. Because at the end of the day, what is a highlight video? A highlight video is showing clearly that you are the best player on that film. Clearly. So any average play, any play that might have been great in that game situation, hey, maybe that was a game-winning, pop fly that you caught. Okay, that's great. But on film, it just looks like a regular pop fly. Who cares? So you can't look at it as what that play meant. You have to look at it for what it is, because the college coach is not looking at the game at that moment. They're watching the highlight video, right? So if you're a football player and you play running back, it's a 7-yard run, a 6-yard run. Okay, why is that on your highlight film? That's not a highlight. And I know what you're thinking. No, you don't know. It was 4th down and 3, and I got the 1st down, and we won the game. All great. Coaches will see that when they ask for your film, for your game film. But on your highlight video, does not care. Does not matter, right? So when it comes to the highlight video, let's narrow it down. The number that I like to work with is 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 minutes does a couple things. Number one, college coaches are very, very busy. They're very busy. They're evaluating film, transcripts, NCAA, just so many different things. Of course, their practices, their meetings, their camps, everything that they have going on. So we want to simplify this. So when they click on that link, they see 3 minutes, and that, everybody looks at how long something is before you hit play most of the time, right? So before they hit play, they're going to look and see 2 minutes, 58 seconds. Perfect. I got 3 minutes to check this athlete out. They open that video and it says 8 minutes and 42 seconds. Maybe I'll watch this one later. Or maybe I'll watch a minute of it. So 3 minutes is really that sweet spot. Now, the 3 minutes, this has to be the best of the best. This cannot be average. If it's average, do not put it in there. I don't care if your film ends up being 1 minute and 30 seconds. Give them 1 minute and 30 seconds of the best plays that you have, period. Don't compromise that. Don't overthink that. If it's in question, if it's just a good play, not a great play, just don't put it on there. Just don't do it. I would rather send out a video, a highlight video to a college coach that's 1 minute and 15 seconds of my best plays than send them 5 minutes of me just playing the sport. It's going to expose a lot more weaknesses. It's gonna bore them to death because they're watching highlight videos and now they're bored watching regular plays. So it's really no need to do it. I'd rather it be shorter than be longer. Another key, put the best plays in the beginning. This is not a movie. You're not a director. You're not trying to set the scene. You're not building up to the championship. Don't do it. Look at your overall film. I don't care if it was game 1, game 2, game 3, or game 50. Take the best plays and then take the best of the best and put them in the beginning. The first play, the second play, the third play, the fourth play, those should all be your best. Why is that important? Attention. You need to get that college coach's attention immediately. So if you put good plays and then by play 4, it's getting better, play 5, guess what? They're going to hit that little X button at the top. They're going to hit the X button and they're out of there. And they're never going to watch your film again. That's it. You blew it. You blew your chance. You blew it. But if they hit play and that first play, boom, catches their attention, they're like, okay, nice. Second play, oh, this is good. Now by the third, fourth, fifth play, they're already in. They already like you. They're just seeing different things that you can do as an athlete. And then it's going to end. Boom, and now it's time for them to reach out, respond to your message, communicate, add you to their recruiting list. Whatever that looks like for the next steps for that university happen then. But if we blow the highlight film, we blow the opportunity. So, last thing I'm going to leave you with. This is very, very, very important. Every single athlete that's watching this video should have a YVY profile. YVY. YVY stands for you versus you. Here's why this is important. Like we talked about earlier, when you listen to anyone that tells you how to get exposure, it's going to have some effect to reaching out to college coaches, to sending your highlight videos, sending your articles, sending your media, sending photos, sending your workout videos, your training videos, sending them your social media links. This is the strategy. Now, YVY is important because you can set up a free profile with your photo, with your videos, with your links, all of your media, all of the information that you want college coaches to know. You donate time to the community center and work with kids. Everything that you want a college coach to know about you should be in one location, and that's your YVY profile. That's where it should be. So you don't have to send a college coach 8, 9, 10 links. Hey, here's the link to my Twitter, and here's my highlight video, and here's my new highlight video. Oh, here's the link to the training camp that I was at. No. Update your YVY profile, and it's free, 100% free. Update your YVY profile, and you send out that one link. And now every time a college coach clicks on that link, they get the most updated information. I'm just telling you, that's what you want. Period. It's free. All you have to do is go to getyvy.com. GETYVY.com. GetYVY. Set up an account. Make sure it's complete. A good bio, a good intro, great photos, video links, wherever it's from, YouTube, Vimeo, wherever your videos are. On your phone, edit some videos. Put them all in your profile. So that way, as a college coach, when I arrive at your profile, I get to see everything that makes you a great athlete. That's how you start the recruiting process. That's how you increase exposure. And ultimately, that's how you get the offers. So thanks for tapping in. Make sure you guys share this episode. Parents, share it with your student athletes. Student athletes, share it with your parents. And everyone watching, set up your YVY profile. And I'll see you on the next one. Let's go get recruited.